Hello, I'm Bernie Hayes. Today's guest is Alderwoman Shameem Clark-Hubbard. We'll be talking about things in the city of St. Louis today on The Bernie Hayes Show. And welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes. My guest is Alderwoman from the 10th Ward, Shameem Clark-Hubbard. How are you doing?
I'm good this morning. Thank you for having me.
I see you on Facebook all the time. You're interacting with people in different organizations. How does that come about?
For me, Mr. Hayes, you know it's important. Presence, showing up, accessibility, all of those things are important. So I know meeting people where they are is sometimes the best place to not only find out their need, but then be able to carry it forward, meet them with the solutions and the answers, and again, be able to move our community forward together. So some people can't show up to every meeting. Some people can't come down to an office. So the presence and support mean a lot. I know how it makes me feel when somebody shows up for me. So that's how I want people to feel when I show up for them.
You go to them, actually.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. The redistricting expanded your ward, did it not?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, it took the former 26th ward to the 10th ward. The 10th ward has 8 neighborhoods in it. It's White Elm, Skinker to Bolivar Place, West End, Visitation Park, Academy Sherman Park, Fountain Park, and Lewis Place. And you know, when I ran, I said 8 neighborhoods plus you and me equals the power of 10.
Okay.
So we're the 10th ward. Yeah, I don't take for granted the expansion at all. And when talking about showing up, I do it the same way, and I hope that my constituents feel I do it the same way, from the furthest southeast corner of Clayton Road and Skinker to the furthest northeast corner. The furthest southwest corner of the ward at Clayton and Skinker to the furthest northeast corner at Martin Luther King and Taylor. And you know the difference.
Oh, yes.
In those neighborhoods and those communities and those constituents' needs. So again, showing up for them the same way that I do on all 4 corners is important to me.
Talking about diversity. I mean, it's really a diverse ward, it's not.
Yeah.
Well, tell me how the tornado impacted some of your residents, the tornado.
Well, we'll start off by saying it didn't impact some, it impacted most. Because if you lay a map of the path of the tornado over a map of the 10th ward, it directly impacted all 8 neighborhoods. It touched down in all 8 neighborhoods. And so while I had devastation off of Lindell and in Forest Park, I also had devastation on Bayard and Martin Luther King. And the difference and the disparity I see every day is one of the things that quite frankly now keeps me up at night. Because while we have people and constituents that have been able to respond and go on their paths of rebuilding and recovering, getting roofs rebuilt, cleaned up and everything, we also have constituents that still, in so many ways, are standing outside their properties like it's still May 16th. So just, again, being able to be there, meet them where they are, is case by case on how people are able to move forward, give them the tangible resources, the facts, you know, of how they can move forward and the opportunities of what we can do has been the thing that I've been able to, I think, carry me on, and the little wins carry me through, because there are some tough conversations I've had to have.
So what resources are you retrieving from the city, the government, FEMA is helping?
Yep, just making sure to connect them. While as their auto person, I can't fill out their paperwork, right? I can't give them the resource myself. I can absolutely be the conduit, making sure that somebody is responding to them if they have questions or challenges with filling out the application, making sure they have access to their paperwork. You know, some people might have lost their paperwork in their homes and everything, so copies and things of that nature. And just, again, connecting them. Some I've literally taken to the disaster resource centers myself. If there's been, you know, they can't get down there and it's hard sometimes just trying to navigate that stuff over the phone. It's better to sit with someone. So, yeah, again, it's so case by case, like, and making sure that people have the different needs they need. And it changes every day. So, like now, here, what are we, about 111, 112 days? Yeah. It's kind of like, I don't need another hot dog. I don't need another bag of chips. I need funds so I can rebuild, or I need access to be able to move, or whatever it is, I've been able to be blessed. I've counted a blessing to be able to help.
If one wanted to help, how can they help you? How can they reach you to give you help?
Well, they can reach me directly, on my cell phone number, my email address, anytime. I always share that publicly. But some of the entities that have still now, again, 100+ days on the ground and serving, of course, the Urban League, that's in the 10th Ward. Their reach is immeasurable. Their impact is immeasurable. And again, count it a blessing to be able to serve and help and support Urban League and under the direction of Mike McMillan however I can. And then we also have 314 Oasis that was set up in Fountain Park with Dr. Punch and other entities, Centennial Christian Church, which, unfortunately, we lost.
Destroyed.
We lost, not only life, but their church in this storm. And Dr. Marty with the Ungun Foundation, Dr. Marty Casey. There's just been some entities. And then given, of course, to the United Way, given, of course, to the St. Louis Community Foundation, different funds that have been set up that I know that I've been able to direct constituents to give resources. So that's the way that I've been able to meet and be the kind.
I noticed that you're always accessible. I mean, you give out your personal number, and people can reach you, and you respond to them. And I admire you for that.
Thank you.
Were you impacted yourself personally through the tornado?
I don't even talk about it because compared to what I see on the ground every day, it's no comparison, right? So while I had roof and, I had roof, siding, windows, some of the typical things that a lot of people had, I have people who not only lost their homes, but the loss of life and, the things that we're dealing with. So, again, for me, I don't even think about what happened to our house, just trying to move forward on that in our own way. But, again, wanting to be there to help others as much as I can. I guess that's what makes you so special, and why people love you so much. And I can understand that, you also mentioned all these organizations. You also been very impactful for the National Black Radio Hall of Fame. Yes. You, each year, presents the resolutions to all the recipients, all the inductees, and I want to thank you for that personally, and they all want to thank you also, for the September 20th at the Renaissance Hotel, the inductees, they will all receive a resolution from Alderwoman of the 10th Ward, Shameem Clark-Hubbard. I want to thank you for trusting me with that. That's an exciting, listen, I know how important the media is. I know the responsibility and the role that you all play in getting the word out to our communities in ways that we never could, the reach that you all have, so I don't take that for granted. I love the Hall of Fame, right, when you took me on the tour. I hate that I'm going to miss it, but I'm going to tell you, the only reason I'm missing it is because I'm going to be in Atlanta celebrating my granddaughter's first birthday. So I can't miss my grandbaby's first birthday. But I'll be there in spirit cheering for you. Congratulations to all the new inductees. Thank you so much. They're going to be proud to hear that's coming from you. You do so much in is the monies from the RAM settlement going to help the people in your district? So I think I want to make sure I'm clear on how they help, because I think for some, and while I wish it could be this way, they want to direct in their pockets to be able to choose and do what they want to, what they need to do to recover. But for me, I never gaslight or lie or say that something can go away that I know it can't. In government, we can't directly just give money to individuals, or especially for their individuals' properties. So we have to go through either departments or entities. That's why when you see me legislating funds, that goes to a specific department or an organization. And so the way that this money is helping, is for debris cleanup, whereas an individual would have had to pay, and sometimes upwards of thousands of dollars to get their properties cleaned up. That money went into funds for debris cleanup, not just public but private. They'll be going on to people's properties when they need, with the application process, to be able to get things cleaned up. There's also the stabilization fund that she created. And when I say she, I mean Mayor Spencer created out of the RAM's interest funds that can do tarping, windows, again, some debris cleanup, tree removal, things of that nature. So when we talk about it going directly to the constituent, and meeting their needs, that's what I would say it does. But I also am not lost on the gap that people need money to rebuild.
Right.
People need money for those kind of projects to be able to do. And so there are other ways that we can go through that. I know there's CDA that has some funding coming through. There might be some other funding coming through. We're still waiting to hear what the $100 million from the state is going to do.
Sure, yeah.
And so I'm just, again, trying to be there. FEMA's filling in some gaps, and I'm using the word gaps because I know that if you know the homes that I represent, we're talking about 3-story, 3-course brick homes. And so there's no real, even the cap that FEMA had would not have rebuilt some of the homes that the devastation that we've been through. So again, just meeting people where they are and trying to see them to a next step to fill in the gaps and move forward.
Sure. 10th Ward Alderwoman Shameem Clark-Hubbard is my guest, and we're talking about many, many things that impact you and your life. And we're at the New Life Evangelistic Center, 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. Reverend Larry Rice has been helping those in need for more than 53 years. Back with 10th Ward Alderwoman after this.
There are so many hurting and homeless people all around us. You see them daily if your eyes and mind are open. They're on street corners. They're wandering the streets. Many, many people are suffering. But with winter approaching, we have to see how critical it is that each one of us do our part, that we come out of the tomb of self-centeredness and let Christ's light and love flow in us and through us. And that's why we're celebrating Homeless Awareness Month at the New Life Evangelistic Center. Go to www.newlifeevangelisticcenter.org to learn more, or call us at 314-421-3020. We have a wide variety of experiences, opportunities for you to come and join us on Friday mornings each week out among 200 homeless people at what we call Socktober, that we're able to distribute socks to the homeless that are hurting. The Night Out with the Homeless, October 10th. And opportunities for you to come meet homeless individuals at 2428 Woodson Road. Call us at 314-421-3020 or go to www.newlifeevangelisticcenter.org.
You are acting as a refuge when you partner with New Life today. You are providing God's gracious gifts to His people who are living in despair and in need in Missouri. You are offering real tangible hope when you partner with New Life today. And we here at NLEC are trying to be the bridge between those on the streets and those in the pews. You can make a difference in a person's life. But don't wait. There are so many people who are suffering, or hurting, or broken, and they need you. Call us at 314-421-3020 or go to nlecstl.org to find out how you can get involved in this critical work.
Welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes. My guest is the 10th Ward Alderwoman from the city of St. Louis, Shameem Clark-Hubbard. Clark and Hubbard. Mm-hmm. You were born into public service, weren't you? Tell us about the Clark part. Tell us about the Hubbard part.
Absolutely. The Clark part I'm so proud of. My grandfather, Joseph Clark Sr., was an alderman in the 60s in the historicville neighborhood. One of the first black, in the historicville neighborhood, which is where I was born and raised. Mm-hmm. And so I saw the way that our communities came together and worked not just in community on the ground, but with their churches, with their elected officials, with their schools, public schools and organizations, and how they brought fought real fights for their communities. Yeah. Some fights that unfortunately we are still fighting today, but we're able to make some strides and some wins that motivated us to keep pushing forward. After his 10-year down at the Board of Aldermen, he became the first black director of public safety for the city of St. Louis and the first black director of welfare, which we don't have anymore, but it's similar to a Department of Human Services. Yeah. And then at the same time, he was regional and regional and local presidents chapters of NAACP and other organizations that again fought.
He was internationally known. Yeah. Internationally known.
Yeah, absolutely. So he definitely put the bug in me to want to be in service. And I was an entrepreneur, but I always gave back in service. And when these seats became open, I started running for elected office because I saw in each one of them an access to resources to be able to bring back down and serve in my community with. And in every elevation of the elected office, I saw an elevation of access to resources to be able to bring back down to the community. So that's how I got into that. Now I'm married
You had
into
a role model. I mean, that was a role model.
Listen,
Joseph Clark.
Mr. Hayes, he has I have a scrapbook like this thick, literally, I'm not exaggerating,
I believe that.
of newspaper articles of my grandfather. And every once in a while, I can open up and see a fight or an organization or a win or something that they did in the community that mirrors what we are doing today, or it can give me some insight on or some history, because I'm a big history nerd, on what's going on today, how we got here, right? And so absolutely I had that. And then I married my husband, Rodney Hubbard, who at the time was a state representative. By chance, we met at Tandy Rec Center, because I used to give back to school picnics at Tandy Rec Center as part of my giving back from my entrepreneurship.
Right.
And his cousin worked at Tandy Rec Center. He was like, you doing stuff in the community, and he's doing stuff in the community. I'm going to get y'all together. And that was 20 plus years ago. So I married him. I wasn't in politics myself at the time as either elected official, but I was, of course, around it. So that's just, again, the marriage into it, and married into a family that has dedicated their lives to public service in the community. And then, of course, me growing up in it, you're right, I couldn't get away from it if I wanted to.
You were born into it. No doubt about it. Tell us your vision for the 10th Ward.
Right now, I would say my vision has changed. Right now, it's just not only rebuilding, but most importantly, rebuilding it with the people that are there. I am very concerned about displacement. I am very concerned about it not looking like the 10th Ward that we entered into, which we know that wasn't perfect, but we were moving in a step ahead to get it not only repopulated in areas, but it's just moving together and working together. Us just bringing together communities and neighborhoods that have been systemically divided for decades, and just working together on that. I was proud that I represent Forest Park and I represent Fountain Park. And things of that nature, and being able to see the ties in there. Gwen Giles Park to Ivory Perry Park. And I'm using the parks as an example because even little things like that, whereas when I was growing up, and this is no secret, there were times when we couldn't go in Forest Park. We didn't feel welcome in Forest Park. And now, not only the representation of it as their alder, but the work I've done legislatively for Forest Park, I've learned so much about the history. I've learned so much about the organization, and want to help now be a bridge and mirror it to other areas, right? For everything. I use it kind of as a guiding light because they are a public-private partnership that's working. That's really working. And I think that there are so many other things in the city that if we take the same idea of a public-private partnership, so everybody plays their role, understands their role, and we can all play our role to bring our communities together, I think so many things will work and move forward. But again, right now, it's about housing.
Sure.
It's about making sure that everybody that wants to stay in the 10th Ward has the resources, the opportunity to stay. It's about, there's a big mental health piece that I'm dealing with to make sure that this trauma from this tornado doesn't paralyze people to where they can't move forward. I mean, some people literally, rain paralyzes them at this point, let alone a siren or a thought of a tornado or anything like this. So it's just dealing with everybody's lived experience in this case by case, one at a time, meeting them where they are, so that we can all move forward together. And I want everybody that wants to be a part of it to stay, to be able to stay. That goes for the business side too, because we lost a lot of businesses. We lost, of course, the churches, 2 churches, and some schools, 2 public schools lost in the 10th Ward. So just a lot of rebuilding and recovery. And so right now, that's the vision that I see.
You were a businesswoman at one time. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I owned beauty salons. And in the beauty salon industry, being able to not only have that career for myself, but also provide opportunity for others. I had stylists that worked in my salon. It just gave me the vision to be able to want to help people move them to the next step of whatever their career wanted to be, and help people in a way that I know entrepreneurship can. I did not go to traditional college, so I took different steps of the way a lot. But it was lessons I learned, and sometimes learned what not to do and maybe to share with others. So I think that their lived experience for me helps me on the ground as I deal with not just day-to-day quality of life things, but on the business side as well. I have a special place in my heart for entrepreneurship because I know the struggle as much as the victory. And then being able to, encourage people to, do what they want to do in life so that they can be happy.
Your hair is a signature.
Yeah.
It's always different.
Every time.
And I assume that comes from your entrepreneurship, you being a beauty shop owner.
Yeah, I do. I have to switch it up. I do like
You do switch it up quite often and quite frequently. And it's just so nice to see what you're doing and how you're doing it. In fact, you're always working. Even here today, you were working, you and your aide, Daryl, were working here doing City Hall work here in the studio.
Absolutely.
And I admire you for that because you're steady working and people find you when they need you and you respond to them. That's so kind. Okay. Our guest is the 10th Ward Alderwoman from the city of St. Louis, Shameem Clark-Hubbard. And we're at the New Life Evangelistic Center, 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. And a tax-free donation from you would help very much the progress and work here at the center. Post Office Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, 63166. Or come by 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. Reverend Larry Rice has been here more than 53 years supporting those in need. I'm back with a woman from the 10th Ward, Shameem Clark-Hubbard, after this.
God loves a cheerful giver. Even though things are really tough right now, you can make a difference in the lives of so many. New Life has been doing this work for 50 years, and we have seen God's gracious goodness through people like you who have participated in this work. There are so many people who are suffering. More people are becoming homeless for the first time with the rising costs of inflation and food and housing and so many other commodities. We need help. You can make a difference today in the lives of so many by giving your tax-deductible gift to P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. Or go to newlifeevangelisticcenter.org or call to get involved in this incredible work.
We're going to focus on Shirley Chisholm, born Anita Hill on November 30th, 1924, in a predominantly black neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York. Chisholm spent part of her childhood in Barbados with her grandmother, and after graduating from Brooklyn College in 1946, she began a career as a teacher and went to earn a master's degree in elementary education at Columbia University. Shirley Chisholm is best known for becoming the first black congresswoman, that was in 1968, representing the New York State and the U.S. House of Representatives for 7 terms. She went on to run for the 1972 Democratic nomination for the presidency, becoming the first major party African-American candidate to do so. Throughout her political life, Chisholm fought for education, opportunities, and social justice. Chisholm left Congress in 1983 to teach. She died in Florida in 2005. Shirley Chisholm.
As we feel the darkness pressing in upon us, both personal needs and needs in the world, society as a whole, it's easy for us to get depressed. And when we're depressed and negative and feeling hopeless, we're not going to be able to help anyone. That's why I daily have to draw strength from the Word of God. That's why I have to go on walks in the midst of the wonders of God's works. And that's why I have to be able to see something that's worked for many, many years in my life, is that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. That He's with us always, even to the end of the world. And that we can be a light, letting His love and power flow in us and through us in a cold, dark world. There are people hurting out there. There's people that are crying out to God at this particular moment in the midst of their desperation. Can we be led by the Holy Spirit to them? Can we believe God to reach out and let His love flow through us and by faith help them meet their needs? That's the challenges that the Lord gives us in His Word. Experience the joy of really helping somebody else and letting the light and love of Christ shine in you and through you.
Welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes. My guest is the 10th Ward Alderperson from the city of St. Louis, Shameem Clark-Hubbard. You were talking about the zoning overhaul. Tell us what's happening.
Yeah, the ZOOP as the city of St. Louis is calling it, ZOUP. This is a zoning overhaul project that's going to be a zoning overhaul. So redoing the zoning, rethinking, reimagining, revisioning the zoning in the city of St. Louis. Hasn't been done in decades. Understanding that when it was first done, in so many ways, in so many communities, it was used as a tool for division, right? For
Team Ford.
yeah, keeping, they have the buzzwords, keeping integrity, communities, and things of that nature. So being not only at the Board of Aldermen, serving as the president of the HUD's committee, and serving on the Planning Commission, I know firsthand and have seen firsthand how zoning can be used against communities. And so this is a way I feel, and a path forward I feel, to be engaged and to be able to not only fight forward, but right some wrongs that have been done through zoning in the city of St. Louis, across the entire city of St. Louis.
What's the importance of that?
The importance of that is, one, this opportunity for people, for us to be engaged, people that look and sound like us or live in communities like ours that clearly were not at the table, weren't welcome at the table when a lot of these codes were written, right? And so now, I'm glad you mentioned that, because there is still opportunity. There's going to be a Citizens Advisory Board, and the applications are still open for people to be able. So your listeners, if you're listening now, you can go to the ZOOP or go to the St. Louis Zoning or the St. Louis City Planning Commission, Planning Division, Department. I'm not sure the exact way, but if you get close enough to any of those, you'll see the ZOOP, Citizen Advisory Board, ZOUP, Citizen Advisory Board, that you can apply to. It's going to be a lottery, but right now we are needing some more applications, some more submissions from some of the northern areas in the city of St. Louis, and making sure that it's equitable and what that advisory board is going to look like. They have a process that they're going to use, the lottery type pick, to be able to get people. So it's not going to be, I know that person and I can get that person. It's none of that. But we do want equitable submissions across the entire city. And again, being able to move this forward. So it looks like whether your house can be built, whether a gas station or a liquor store can be built or not built, what kind of street lighting, what kind of street, closures, all different building codes, everything. It looks like things that you probably wouldn't even think about, but absolutely people can use against you, especially when they're in the code. Sure. And so making sure that we take and grasp on this once here now in decades opportunity for us to be engaged in this process. I'm very excited about it. I've learned so much about zoning, and now more than ever, as we need to rebuild, right? It's just going to be important. So I do encourage people that even if you can't and don't have the capacity to serve on that committee, stay online with it, track it, follow their websites. They're on social media. They have a social media presence now, which is good. And so following and tracking it and making sure, because the last thing you want to do is wake up and say, I didn't know anything about this, or be on the other side of the table trying to do something, and they say, can't do this because it's not in the zoning code, or this is not good because this is not in the zoning code.
When are you up for re-election?
I run for re-election in 2027. Okay. These are 4-year terms. And so, again, this is my second term as an alderperson. First, in 2019 for the 26th Ward alderperson, and then ran successfully in 2023 for the 10th Ward alderperson. Okay, so
next year, 2027?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to say thank you. You do so much, and I want to thank you again for the resolutions that you're going to provide for the inductees of the National Black Radio Hall of Fame on September the 20th at the Renaissance Hotel. Without you, it would not be complete. I just want to say thank you personally to that.
Thank you.
Because you always do. And you're so supportive of not only the National Black Radio Hall of Fame and the Wolf Jazz Institute and Harris Stowe State University, but I see you support everything that you touch. And I really commend you, Shameem Clark-Hubbard, for that, because you don't have to do it. And you respond to everybody. How can they reach you again?
I can be reached easily on my cell phone or my email address. You mentioned earlier, now I'm blessed with an amazing legislative assistant for the 10th Ward, Mr. Daryl Granberry, who we got is a blind blessing. He came from as a result of Doge, but St. Louis is the winner in that. And so now we have that as a resource. But on social media, just don't, what I say every time, just not Messenger.
Okay. Thank you so much. I just can't tell you how much I appreciate you. And I want to thank each and every one of you for supporting the New Life Evangelistic Center. I'm Bernie Hayes. Have a great day. Until next time.